All right, let's talk about something that's becoming more and more urgent. Record-breaking heat waves are pretty much the new normal, right? And they can absolutely wreck a garden in what feels like minutes. So today, we're going to break down a super simple but really powerful survival guide to get your plants through this insane heat.
Okay, so first things first, we got to get our heads in the right space. And this quote, it really nails it. Forget about everything looking perfect. You know, those perfect flowers or that perfect green lawn. Right now, it's not about looking good. The one and only goal is just survival.
So at what point do we flip that switch from thriving to just surviving? Well, it's when your garden hits what I'm calling the red zone. When that happens, you can pretty much throw the normal gardening rulebook out the window. We're on emergency protocols now.
And here's the magic number you need to watch for. 30 degrees Celsius. That's about 86 Fahrenheit. The second it hits that mark, your plants are officially in survival mode. That's our trigger. That's when we stop just doing our normal routine and we start active emergency intervention.
So what does that mean? It means our whole game plan has to change, like immediately. This is not the time to be planting new stuff or trimming back bushes. No, your job now is basically to be a garden medic. You're doing triage, focusing all your energy on life support for the plants that are struggling the most.
Okay, so you might be thinking, but I'm watering all the time. Why are my plants still looking so sad? Well, there's a good chance you're falling into what we call the evaporation trap. There's this hidden enemy that's working against you, and this right here shows you the problem perfectly. When you're just watering the top of the soil with a hose or sprinkler during a crazy heat wave, up to half, a shocking 50% of that water is just vanishing into thin air before it can get down to the roots where the plant actually needs it.
And this is the thing we have to beat. The ground itself becomes the enemy. It's literally like a hot plate. You pour water on it, and it just sizzles and steams away. They call it the flash dry phenomenon, and it leaves the most important part of the plant, its deep roots, its engine room, totally high and dry.
So how in the world do we beat this flash dry thing? Well, we have to find a way to get around that hot surface. Let's look at the number one most important action you can take to get water exactly where it needs to be.
And believe it or not, the solution is super simple. All you need is an old plastic bottle. You cut off the bottom, poke a few holes in the sides, and then you just bury it in the ground right next to your plant. When you fill that bottle up, you're creating a direct pipeline, getting 100% of that water deep down into the cool soil right where the roots are.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about 2 quick wins. Things you can do like this afternoon to give your plants some immediate relief. Think of these as your go-to emergency moves when the heat is just brutal.
First win, strategic shading. It's exactly what it sounds like. Just give your most important plants a little break during the absolute hottest part of the day. You can use an old bed sheet, a beach umbrella. Seriously, anything that casts a shadow will work. Just by lowering that leaf temperature a tiny bit, you can stop the plant from hitting the permanent wilking point, which is basically the point of no return.
All right, our second quick win is a bit weird. It goes against your gut instinct, but trust me, it's so important. You're going to see those ugly, brown, crispy leaves, and your first thought will be to prune them off to clean things up. Don't do it. You have to resist that urge. Those scorched leaves are actually acting like a natural shield, sacrificing themselves to protect the new green growth hiding underneath. How cool is that?
Okay, so emergency fixes are great, but what about the long game? Let's talk strategy. Honestly, the best way to survive a heat wave is to plant things that are already built for it. So let's meet 3 absolute climate heroes that just laugh when the temperature skyrockets.
First on our list is a plant that looks at a heat wave and pretty much just shrugs. It's a normal Tuesday for this guy. Meet sedum. You might know it as stonecrop. This thing is a true desert specialist.
So what's its secret? Its superpower. It has its own built-in water tank. You see those thick, kind of fleshy leaves? Those are little water reservoirs. So while all the other plants are wilting and screaming for water, the sedum is just calmly sipping from its own private stash.
Next up, we have a plant that literally evolved to have its own sunscreen. It's wild. This is lamb's ear, and it's an absolute master at reflecting heat.
And this is where it gets really clever. You know that soft, fuzzy feel it has? That's not just for looks. It's a high-tech survival tool. Those tiny little hairs do 2 things. They reflect sunlight away, and they trap a tiny pocket of cooler air right against the leaf. It's like having built-in air conditioning.
And for our third hero, let's meet a plant whose solution to that flash dry problem on the surface is to just ignore it completely. This is sea holly.
Yeah, this one has a totally different strategy. The sea holly grows this massive, long taproot. We're talking sometimes over a meter deep, just straight down into the earth. It completely blows past all that hot, dry soil on top and taps into deep underground water that most other plants have no idea is even there.
Okay, so let's bring it all back to the most important point here. Of everything we've talked about, making those little deep watering reservoirs out of old plastic bottles, that is the single most powerful thing you can do. It takes what, 5 minutes? And that 5-minute job can literally be the difference between life and death for your favorite plants.
So I want to leave you with a question, because this isn't just about learning cool facts, right? This is a call to action. As soon as this explainer is over, I want you to go look at your garden. And with all this new info in your head, what's the one plant you're going to go save today?